What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel for another video today. Today we're building a tire rack for the trailer. So it's going to sit right in front of the Z, and it's going to use another bar plus the front of the trailer. I don't even know what they call it, but anyway, right behind the tongue, they've got that little cross beam that runs in front of the trailer, and then so we'll set the back of the tires against that, and then this will be like a small riser. Should be about 5 or 6 inches tall, where the tires will drop down into that, similar to what we have on the wall here. So like these guys. So essentially we'll be using the front of the trailer will be like the back of the wall of the house, and then this will act like that front bar, and that way we should be able to get about 6 tires on the front of the trailer, maybe more. And then we'll run the straps underneath the tires to be able to still strap on the car and all that good stuff. But I got this idea from another YouTuber, Taylor Ray. I'll link the video description, or I'll link the video in the description so you guys can check out his channel. I mean, I'm sure you've seen it, but just want to give him a shout out because he did, this is kind of where I got the idea from in his setup. So got to give credit where credit is due. But let's get into it. I think I finally got all the tools I need to do this. We had a little fiasco earlier, so I'll show you that real fast. This thing right here, don't even bother with it. One, Harbor Freight sold me one that was already used, and now I know why it was already used, because it can't cut square, you know, thin wall, 1-inch round tubing, or square tubing. It can't even cut it square. I mean, my car already knew that from jump, but you know, it was there. They didn't have any of the bigger ones that I was going to get, so I figured let me give it a shot. Took it out of the box, and it's just, I mean, look, watch, like this. Like if you hold the base steady, this thing just, it moves back and forth. Like, how are you gonna cut square with that? You can't. It's impossible. Stupid. But anyway, got ourselves a little 7 1/4 inch chop saw, so we can make square cuts. You can actually make, you know, 45-degree cuts. You know, pretty, I don't know how big it'll go, but this is 1-inch square tubing. I shouldn't be cutting anything much bigger than that around here anyway. But if it's a little bit bigger than that, obviously this thing will handle it too. I think it'll do all the way up to like 2.5 or 3 inches. So it should be plenty for what we're doing around here. If I need more than that, I plan on getting a bandsaw, so I don't know. Yeah, but this will work for what we need it for. It was, you know, inexpensive, I guess, about 160 bucks. But it came with the blade. It came like basically ready to go. I just had to, like, you know, put the metal in it and start. So I did a couple test cuts just to kind of make sure it was working right and all that good stuff. But now we need to cut. This is one of the pieces. This is a good piece. So this right here, we need 3 of these. So we'll have one on the end, one in the middle, and then one on the far end, and that's gonna kick the bar up on the top of the trailer. So but anyway, so we got to make another 2 of those. So we'll use it, probably get 1 more out of that small piece, and then I got a couple other pieces over here to finish out the rest of it. So we'll be able to get that done. I'm gonna bolt it onto the trailer because I have a wooden deck, not a steel deck. So yeah, I should have hardware here. I might have to go get some. I don't know, we'll figure it out. But anyway, let's get cracking, and let's get this thing knocked out finally. It's been a long day. Got 3 legs cut. Now I did a couple practice butt welds the other day, just because, you know, I'm new to this whole welding spiel. But I want to get a couple more in. So this is this piece right here that's still in the saw. This is extra, and then I'll have to do one butt weld on these two guys right here to span the whole length of the width of the trailer, not the length. Thought I saw some money. Anyway, I have to make a good butt weld. I made one before and it was strong. It penetrated fine. I couldn't break it. It just wasn't that pretty. I mean, I could do a lot of grind work, but I'm trying to get it down to where I don't have to grind that much off of it to get it smooth, and because we'll paint it, and you know, I want it to be to where you don't, it's not something that you immediately notice. So like, oh, hey, look at this terrible weld right here. So I'm gonna cut this and do a couple practice welds, you know, just to get it down, and then I'll weld up the actual piece that we need. So, but I'll film that and let you guys kind of see, you know, I'm just planning on cutting like probably, I don't know, 2 or 3 of these practice sections, and then go from there. We'll weld them up, grind them down till we get to where we think we're happy with it, and then do the real deal. So let's do it. So with these, you know, they got this sticker on them and stuff like that, and just mill scale, I guess, whatever you want to call it. It's just not exactly perfectly clean. I mean, you could probably weld this, it'd be fine. But since I'm a noob and I need all the help I can get, we're gonna grind these up. Well, not really grind them, but just flap wheel them, just so that they have, you know, brand new shiny metal. We'll get this sticker off of here, and then probably wipe them down. Just make sure that there's nothing on there. That way, like I said, we get the best weld we can. If you're really experienced, you could probably knock this out no problem, but since I am new, I do need, like I said, every advantage I can get. So we'll go ahead, clean them up, and then we'll be ready to do our practice welds. You know, typically power tools, they require the power. All right, guys, well, they fit up pretty good already. So being that we cut them on that chop saw, that they're pretty close. So plan is probably just to tack them, you know, maybe 2 spots on each side. As long as we don't go too crazy with it, we shouldn't get it warping too much. So if you're just starting to weld metal shrinks, right? So essentially, I can't clear my throat. There we go. Essentially, like if you were to tack, say like here and then here, you would shrink this top portion, right? And it would want to pull this bar up a little bit, you know, something like that. And it may not be perfectly straight. You know, if we get it off just a little bit here, like this isn't critical. But, you know, we want it to be as good as we can. So let's do a practice weld and then we'll see what's up. I think the machine set should be pretty good. This is 1/16, so I've got the wire feed up pretty high. With 300 wire feed and then about 17.5 volts. So, you know, you guys that weld, you'll know what I'm talking about. If you don't, let me know in the comments. I'll do my best to explain it noob to noob. All right, let's give it a whirl. well, looking in there, like the tacks do have pretty good penetration, so let's go ahead and just weld this sucker out and see what happens. Well, it looks like it's kind of sinking in a little bit, which probably means either got too much wire feed or the voltage is too high. Well, we'll play with the settings a little bit. We'll let that cool off because it's so thin, it's going to want to, you know, as the metal gets hotter, you get more penetration. But anyway, we'll let that cool off for a couple minutes and then we'll come back. All right, guys, back for day number 2. So I think we finally got the welder a little bit dialed in, or better dialed in, I should say, for this thin stuff. So we're going to go ahead, we're going to weld out our 2 pieces here to make our full length to go across the trailer. We'll get that done and then start attaching the legs and everything to it from there. So let's get going. All right, guys, so we got our long piece welded together. Now we're gonna cut down this flat stock, 4-inch sections, 1-inch tube in the middle. Should give us about 1 inch on either side to put our bolt holes through. That's what's actually gonna go down to the trailer. And then we'll put our pieces on top. Something like that. I'll just knock my welding helmet on the floor because, you know, that's always a good place for it. So let's get these cut and then probably we'll weld them to the small pieces first and then weld the rest of them to the long piece, which I put over there just to get it out the way. Yeah, so let's do that and then we'll just continue on. Hopefully we'll get this done today. All right, guys, so now we need to take one of these, probably weld, it don't really matter which side, we'll clean it up, get it lined up in there like so, and then weld that 3 of these out, and then we'll take these assemblies and weld them to the big bar, clean everything up, paint it, and then bolt it to the trailer. Sounds easy enough, right? so we got those welded, if you want to call it that. They're not terrible, but they could be better. But you know, probably should have done this out a little bit thicker stuff. It would have been a little bit more forgiving, but that's what we got. If we have to, we'll, you know, redo it again, but we're gonna see what it does for now. So now we got to get those pieces onto the long piece. So let's knock that out and move on. Alright, so that's on there. It's not going anywhere, but being that it's so thin, we need to let it cool off. So we're going to do the middle joint, or the middle stand, I should say. So we'll get it measured out. It's going to be somewhere, you know, up in here. So we'll get that measured out real quick, and then I'll be back, and we'll kind of slide this thing down to where we can weld on it. And sorry, you're probably looking at the top of the hood, but get that one in, and then get the final one in. So let's get crack-a-lackin'. All right, I'll straighten you guys up here. You're a little crooked. So what we did was we measured, so this whole length of square tubing is 82 inches, or just under 82 inches. So we measured to 41 inches and then put our center of our little piece here. And then now we're going to tack it, weld these two, and then do the last one on this end over here. So let's get going again. Making progress, slowly but surely. All right, that's not going anywhere. Again, move on to the last piece. We'll get these two welds done, and then these are a little tricky to do like this, so we'll lay the bar over and do them, you know, that way. So let's get that done. Pull my gloves here. My gloves. Well, I can tell you that these came out the best out of the bunch. You know, probably just because you get, you know, get a little bit of practice as you go. So, hey, it's stuck together. So, that's it. So, I guess we can go walk out to the trailer once it cools down a little bit, and then see what it looks like. And then we'll get our kind of where we want to put it on the trailer. I'm assuming we'll probably steal one of those stockers up there with the blown out tires, those two in the middle. They should be pretty close to the same diameter as what we run on the Z. What was I thinking about? Oh yeah, and then we'll be able to see where we want to bolt it down. I don't know if I have the hardware. I may have to go get it. Probably have to go get it. But anyway, we'll see exactly where we want to put it. We'll mark it and all that good stuff. So see you in the back. What's it look like, dude? It's good. We gotta check out the work. Huh? Thing says they don't care. So this is, instead of dragging a wheel and tire out here, just grab a tire. This is a 245, 45, 18. So it's a little bit taller than the 265, 35s that run on the back. So they should sit in here just a hair lower than this. So that should be pretty, you know, good as far as being able to run the straps under the tires, especially if I run them in between like one, but that shouldn't really be an issue. And then obviously it's gonna be bolted down and it'll suck it up a little bit more. So I think right there is good. And then so let's mark, you know, here to the trailer, and we'll measure that and then get a couple measurements throughout the, you know, this length, or that length all the way down, and then we'll you know, make sure we're as square as we can be. If it's not perfect, you know, it's the first project. I don't know, I might cap these off. I don't know, I may remake this out of thicker stuff eventually. I don't know, we'll see how this one holds up. So yeah, let's do that. Essentially, now we got our marks where we want to put it. We can, you know, take it back in the garage, drill our holes for our bolts, line it back up on our marks, and then bolt it in. All right, guys, so we got the holes drilled. I think now what I want to do is actually, I decided to try to cap these ends off. It's thin metal, but you know, I'll do my best. I just think it'll look a little cleaner that way, and it'll, you know, prevent moisture from getting in there. I mean, you can get those plastic tubing caps, but I mean, they're not doing anything. So, you know, we'll see. If it looks like it's you know, terrible looking, I'll just cut them off and leave it open. So let's get going. So to cap these off, all I did was just cut pieces of same stuff we did for this to 1.25 inches. It hangs over a little bit, but it should do the work, the trick. You know, just to seal it off, make sure water and everything doesn't get in there. So. Tango checking out our progress. Anyway, get the sun out of my eyeballs. You guys were you were fading. I had to give you guys a shot of Red Bull, and while you guys were drinking up that Red Bull, I got the end caps finished. I think you saw that, but grinded them up a little bit just to kind of knock off the edges. Don't really care, you know, what they look like, so to speak. Just really didn't want them to be super sharp. So we got them on there. Their end caps, they don't look particularly great, but hey, whatever. We're gonna throw a coat of paint on this. Sun's going down, but probably get it finished painted, let it dry overnight, and then tomorrow morning we'll finish it up, mount it on the trailer. I'm gonna wrap this guy up. So let's get this thing painted, and one step closer to finishing it up. Tango, does it look good? Huh? What do you think? What do you think? Squeak if it looks good. Yeah. All right, guys, that's gonna wrap it up for tonight. We'll catch you in the morning. We'll pop it on the trailer, test it out. All right, guys, welcome back to another day. So we got it painted in its spot. Now we're just gonna go ahead and drill in our holes, and then we'll get it all mounted up. Tango supervising as usual. So let's get cracking. Alright guys, so obviously you got the holes drilled. Sorry about the lawnmower in the background, but you know, guys gotta mow their grass. So now we just need to drop our bolts through here. Like so. This one might be a little difficult. Had that metal. Nope, right in there. Easy peasy, now the fun part. Tango, you checking it out? Is it working? Hey, hey, you're not done inspecting. Anyway, guys, we got it mounted up. Ended up having to scoot. You can see right here, about a I don't know, just about 5/16 up on this side, and we must have just marked it incorrectly. You know, it happens. but it's on there now. And when I was actually moving this thing around, I was watching the weld, you know, where I welded it right here. I was like, oh man, it's flexing. I don't know if it's gonna hold up, but once you get it bolted down, I mean, I can shake the whole trailer with it. I think it'll be fine. Time will tell, obviously. Really, with vibrations is really what you have to worry about. And it's pretty solid. I'm pretty happy with it. For my first go at, you know, fabbing up anything, it came out pretty good. You know, I'm excited, and we should be able to put, you know, between 6 and 8 tires on the front of this trailer pretty easily, and still have, you know, plenty of room for the car. I could even, you know, mount a pit bike on here too behind the car, but we'll see. We don't even have that, so we're getting ahead of ourselves. But anyway, you guys are a little crooked. Let's see, that better? Better. That's gonna do it for the video, guys. If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up or a like. If you've got something to say, please throw me a comment. Also, if you guys have done anything lately that you've made, you know, anything, doesn't have to be welding, just whatever, that you're super proud of it, just let me know in the comments below. You know, it's always good to hear back, feedback from you guys on that type of stuff. And if you want to see more content like this, please give a thought to subscribing. And again, I thank you for tuning in. Appreciate it. Bye.